It was a Saturday afternoon in July, the kind of afternoon when heat seemed to sit on the ground. The thermometer outside the garage read 96 degrees, but the driveway felt hotter. You had spent nearly an hour pushing a mower through thick grass. By the time you finished, your shirt was dark with sweat. Pale salt marks had formed near the collar, your lips were dry, and your hands felt slightly unsteady. You stopped at a convenience store, where the refrigerator glowed with bright blue sports drinks, fluorescent red bottles, vitamin water, and electrolyte gummies. Every label promised performance, recovery, or hydration. You bought 2 sports drinks, 1 vitamin water, and berry-flavored chews. The total was $22.47. You opened the blue bottle before reaching the car. The first mouthful was cold and sweet, then artificial berry syrup coated your tongue. At dinner, your stomach felt heavy, and your fork tapped the plate because your hand trembled. When a grandchild reminded you about the sprinkler, you stood, grabbed the chair as the room shifted, and sat back down. The children went outside without you. On the counter, half-empty bottles stood in a row. You had spent $22.47 trying to buy hydration, but mostly bought sweet liquid, bright color, and disappointment. Now I want you to sit with this. Dehydration is not always a shortage of water. Sometimes it is a shortage of what helps your body hold and use that water. There is no magic in a neon bottle. Your body does not recognize branding, mountain graphics, celebrity athletes, or the word performance. It recognizes water, sodium, potassium, carbohydrate, and time. For most ordinary days and light activity, plain water is enough. After prolonged heavy sweating, water alone may not replace everything lost. Yet not every tired person needs an expensive sports drink. The bottle looks modern, but the principle is thousands of years old. Every farmer's wife once knew that someone coming in from a long summer day sometimes needed more than plain water. Rural families used lightly salted broth, diluted juice, milk drinks, soaked raisins, barley water, cucumbers, and melons. Esther's mother mixed cold well water with honey and the smallest pinch of salt during haymaking. Esther's grandmother soaked raisins so workers could drink the water and eat the softened fruit. I still picture a wooden table outside our Lancaster County barn, lined with jars and a cloth-covered pitcher. The ingredients were visible, the amount small, and the purpose understood. When I use the word biblical, I am not saying the Bible contains medical electrolyte recipes. These combinations use foods common in biblical lands and biblical-era diets: salt, honey, grapes, figs, pomegranates, barley, milk, cucumbers, melons, and lentils. They are traditional ingredients arranged for modern summer use, not sacred prescriptions or miracle cures. I am Elias Yoder. I am Amish, and I farm in Lancaster County. I will show you 15 simple hydration combinations made from ordinary ingredients. Most take 60 to 90 seconds to assemble. Barley water and lentil broth require preparation in advance. By the end, you will know which options suit ordinary sweating, poor appetite, or potassium-rich eating, and why salt must stay limited. Confusion, fainting, chest pain, very hot or dry skin, repeated vomiting, severe weakness, trouble waking, or going several hours without urinating can signal serious heat illness or dehydration. Do not depend on a homemade drink in those situations. Seek urgent medical care. Anyone with kidney disease, heart failure, diabetes, high blood pressure, pregnancy-related restrictions, or prescribed limits on salt, potassium, sugar, or fluids should follow a clinician's advice. The first combination is honey and salt water. Mix 16 ounces of cold water, 1 teaspoon of ordinary honey, and a very small pinch of salt. It should remain nearly clear and taste mildly sweet. Water supplies fluid, salt adds sodium, and honey adds carbohydrate. If it tastes like seawater, dilute it or start again. Esther pinched the salt over a saucer before adding it. People with diabetes or sodium restrictions should adjust it according to medical advice. The second combination is raisin soak water. Put 2 tablespoons of unsweetened raisins in 12 to 16 ounces of water. Cover the jar and refrigerate overnight. By morning, the water should be amber and the raisins plump. Drink both, because most nutrients remain in the fruit. If the jar smells fermented, looks foamy, or produces sour bubbles, discard it. Use a refrigerator rather than an old cellar shelf. I have more of Esther's seasonal kitchen notes and our Amish home-saving methods collected at eliasyoder.com because there is too much to fit into one video. I will not mention it again today, but it is there for anyone who wants the complete collection. The third combination is a date and milk recovery drink. Blend 2 soft dates, 1 cup of cold milk, half a cup of water, and a tiny pinch of salt. It should be light caramel and pourable. Milk adds fluid, protein, calcium, potassium, carbohydrate, and sodium. Dates add sweetness and potassium. 2 dates are enough. 8 dates, syrup, and ice cream, turn it into dessert. Skip or adapt this drink if dairy does not suit you. The fourth combination is a pomegranate salt cooler. Mix 4 ounces of unsweetened pomegranate juice with 12 ounces of cold water and a tiny pinch of salt. It should turn ruby pink. Dilution lowers sugar concentration. The good version is mostly water. The bad version is a pomegranate-flavored drink whose first ingredients are sugar or corn syrup. The fifth combination is cucumber and mint salt water. Slice half a cucumber, add 6 mint leaves, 20 ounces of cold water, and a tiny pinch of salt. Refrigerate for 15 to 30 minutes. The water should stay clear and fresh. It is mainly flavored water. Salt adds a little sodium. What casual shoppers miss is that cucumber water is not a complete electrolyte drink. If the slices become slimy or the water smells fermented, walk away. Before I go on, take a breath and drink some water. Our community shares practical Amish food storage, saving, and kitchen habits. The link is in the description. Now let us continue. The sixth combination is a salted watermelon bowl. Cut 2 cups of watermelon into cubes and add a very light dusting of salt. The flesh should be red, crisp, and juicy. Watermelon adds fluid, potassium, and carbohydrate. Salt adds sodium. Fruit alone may not replace much sodium after heavy sweating, so treat this as a snack, not medical treatment. If the fruit is mushy, fizzy, translucent, or fermented smelling, walk away. Esther let the children add salt with 2 fingers, teaching restraint. The seventh combination is barley water. Simmer 1/4 cup of pearl barley in 4 cups of water until the liquid becomes lightly cloudy. Strain, cool, refrigerate, and add a tiny pinch of salt per serving. The drink should be thin. Water hydrates, barley adds mild carbohydrate, and salt adds sodium. Eat the cooked grain because most nutrition remains there. Refrigerate within 2 hours and use within 3 to 4 days. Anyone with celiac disease should avoid barley because it contains gluten. The eighth combination is fig water with honey. Chop 1 dried fig and soak it in 16 ounces of water for several hours in the refrigerator. Add an optional ½ teaspoon of honey and a tiny pinch of salt. The water should turn pale brown. Eat the softened fig because most nutrients remain in it. 1 fig is enough. A handful of figs and several spoons of honey create syrup. The ninth combination is a salted yogurt and mint drink. Whisk ½ cup of plain yogurt with 1 cup of cold water, mint, and a tiny pinch of salt. It should be thin and white with green specks. Yogurt adds fluid, protein, calcium, potassium, carbohydrate, and sodium. Use plain unsweetened yogurt, not dessert yogurt with syrup. People with dairy allergy should avoid it, and anyone with lactose intolerance should use what suits them. The 10th combination is lentil broth. Cook lentils until tender. Reserve some of the thin cooking liquid, lightly salt it, and cool it to a comfortable temperature. The broth should be thin and amber brown. Fluid hydrates and salt add sodium, but eat the lentils for fiber, protein, and minerals. The good version is gently salted. The bad version is very salty canned soup described as a cure. Refrigerate within 2 hours and use within 3 to 4 days. The 11th combination is diluted grape juice with salt. Mix 4 ounces of 100% grape juice with 12 ounces of cold water and a tiny pinch of salt. It should become translucent violet. Water supplies fluid, juice adds carbohydrate, and salt adds sodium. The good version is 1 part juice to 3 parts water. The bad version is a large bottle of full-strength juice swallowed quickly after heat exposure. Measure it. Pouring by eye usually means too much. The 12th combination is melon and cucumber blender water. Blend 1 cup of ripe melon, half a cucumber, 1½ cups of cold water, and a tiny pinch of salt. It should be pale and pourable. Melon and cucumber add fluid. Melon adds carbohydrate and potassium. The good version is light and drinkable. The bad version adds ice cream, syrup, and whipped cream. Avoid fruit with leaking cracks, fermented odor, or large wet spots. The 13th combination is a pomegranate and grape split cooler. Mix 2 ounces of pomegranate juice, 2 ounces of grape juice, 12 ounces of water, and a tiny pinch of salt. It should be burgundy pink and mostly water. The good version is measured. The bad version uses equal parts concentrated juice with no dilution. Use a small measuring cup because guessing leads to overpouring, and check both labels for added sugar. The 14th combination is a date and fig salt bite with water. Chop 1 date and half a dried fig. Press them together with a tiny pinch of salt. Eat the small bite slowly, and follow it with 12 to 16 ounces of water. This suits people who dislike sweet drinks. Fruit adds carbohydrate and potassium, salt adds sodium, and water adds fluid. 1 small portion is enough. Adding chocolate, coconut, nut butter, and several fruits creates a heavy energy ball. The 15th combination is the Summer Recovery Bowl. Combine watermelon cubes, sliced cucumber, pomegranate seeds, 1 spoon of plain yogurt, and a very light dusting of salt. The bowl should be crisp, colorful, and syrup-free. Produce adds fluid, carbohydrate, and potassium. Yogurt adds protein, calcium, and sodium. The good version is fresh, cold, and lightly salted. The bad version uses fruit canned in heavy syrup, sweetened yogurt, and extra sugar. Walk away from the syrup and let the fruit taste like fruit. This bowl is not a substitute for a medical oral rehydration solution. It is not treatment for heat stroke, severe dehydration, vomiting, or diarrhea. It is simply a practical summer snack. Now I want to take a moment, because this is where it all comes together. Honey brings a little carbohydrate. Salt replaces some sodium lost through sweat. Raisins, dates, figs, grapes, and pomegranates bring fruit sugars and potassium. Milk and yogurt add minerals and substance. Cucumber, melon, and watermelon bring fluid. Barley and lentil broth connect hydration with food. Honey water is light. Raisin water pairs liquid with fruit. Date milk suits a poor appetite. Diluted juices teach measurement. Cucumber and mint improve plain water. Watermelon becomes a snack. Barley and lentil broth connect hydration with food. The final bowl brings everything together. The grape carries the sun. The salt remembers the sweat. The barley remembers the field. The water carries all of it back to the body. You no longer have to be impressed by bottle color. Examine water, sugar, sodium, serving size, and the situation. Walk past products offering more marketing than nourishment. There is little money in teaching a family to make a summer drink from water, salt, and honey. Convenience products sell speed and certainty. Traditional knowledge relied on observation. A grandmother knew what to serve after fieldwork. Her daughter moved closer to the supermarket and farther from the garden. The next generation learned labels instead of ingredients. The grandchild learned hydration from advertisements. Commercial electrolyte products are not automatically bad. Precise formulas can help during endurance exercise or illness, and proper oral rehydration solutions can save lives. The problem begins when every ordinary summer thirst becomes a reason to buy an expensive miracle bottle. You do not have to guess, and you do not have to worship the label. So here is what I want you to do this week. First, visit a farm stand for watermelon, cucumber, mint, and seasonal fruit. Second, buy plain yogurt, barley, raisins, unsweetened juice, salt, and honey. Read the labels. Third, study one sports drink label for sugar, sodium, and serving size. Learn from it. Fourth, make honey water and diluted grape juice. Then notice how little salt is needed. Fifth, prepare the recovery bowl with your family. Cut watermelon, slice cucumber, scatter pomegranate seeds, add yogurt, and let a child measure the tiny pinch of salt. Soak raisins for the children to inspect next morning. That is how knowledge comes back. Not through a lecture, but through a child holding the spoon while someone older explains why the salt must remain small. Tell me which surprised you most: salted watermelon, raisin water, barley water, or yogurt and mint. Did your mother or grandmother make an unwritten summer drink? Share the ingredients, amounts, and when it was served. I read every single one. These are pieces of heirloom knowledge no company can manufacture. Next time, we will examine foods that worsen thirst. Salty snacks, excess sugar, alcohol, large caffeine servings, and meals that discourage enough water. It is the natural next step, because adding fluid matters only when you recognize what pulls it away. Until then, remember that the earth rarely hides what the body needs. The melon carries water, the grape carries sunlight, the barley carries the memory of rain, and salt reminds us that every honest day of work leaves something behind. Drink slowly, measure carefully, and pass the old knowledge to the youngest hands at the table. A recipe survives only when someone makes it again.